never ends. Welcome to your Wednesday night entertainment. Brazil, it is the Autodromo Carlo Jose, or just simply Interlagos. Sorry for the technical issues. We're finally back online. It wouldn't let me into the MRC YouTube channel, and I think that was because I changed the password and it wouldn't even let me in. So we're past it. We're here. And we have got Tier 3 qualifying well underway. 8 minutes 46 left of the session. Before we take you through the rest of this session, let me introduce you to my co-commentator this evening. He is a man who is the OG, of course, of MRC. He is a man without it all. We wouldn't be here. He is also the man multiple champion and multiple race winner, of course. We'll ignore kind of Monday. I don't think he wants to remember that one, so we'll ignore that completely. But it is an absolute pleasure, really is, to be back alongside him this evening. It is Mr. Single Track himself. Good evening.
Talking about it and then saying you're not going to talk about it does not count as not talking about it. You absolute git.
Sorry. To be fair, it didn't go much better for me, so we're in the same boat.
How long is it going to be before we start talking about turn 3?
Probably soon. And how about our turn 4? We did that on Monday as well.
I meant 4. Yes,
yeah.
4. Sorry.
Our corner.
Miscount. Yes. where we had a loving embrace.
That's the one. That's it.
There was some light kissing, and some rubbing.
It's been a while since we've done this.
It has. Do you know what? Sorry, I apologise. Let's start that again. Yes. Good evening. Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Sorry for the delay, folks. As we say, so Scotty currently with a 108.6, Wookie on a 108.9, Roundy 109.4. So bit of a spread currently. A lot of drivers haven't set a lap time. Unfortunately, Eldrick, Fabian, Biff, I think, was on a qualifying ban. Avanash, unfortunately, retired as well. And a number of standing reserves and Tier 1 driver Bergen in as well this evening. We've got Fox in again this evening. And Stube as well. So we've got quite a few drivers in this evening, haven't we?
We have. Sorry, I just muted my microphone for a second then because I was just sharing the link and I was having a bit of trouble doing it.
No problem. But yeah, it's... last minute standings, of course. Connor's thrown all the bottles out and isn't very well, so he has stepped out last minute. And a few drivers, we say, have not been able to make it. Stu's got a good lap. He's a 109.5. Good opener for him.
Yeah, we've got people in the mid 108s here, which pretty sure that would get you into Tier 1.
It really would. Yeah, it really, really would. All right, boys, I know we're better late than ever. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Roundy. We had technical issues, but we are here. That is the most important part. I know you miss us. I know it is the highlight of your midweek to hear us.
There's no one was responsible. It was just Mark's absolutely impossibly technophobe fragility that caused that to happen.
It was.
No one's to blame, are they, Mark?
No,
you're definitely not to blame for that.
No.
So we've got so how is Fox so quick? How is he doing that then? He's done a 109.6 on a medium tyre.
Yeah, and he did this in Mexico last week, didn't he, as well, in Tier 3. He was really, right until the death as well. Even the race, just on another level. Really was on another level last week. Jim Moore setting a good lap time in the French baguette.
Yeah, just watching Wookie start another flying lap. That's quite. I suppose I was going to say that's quite early, but it's not, is it? Because we're quite deep into the session because of your time. Because we have technical issues.
Yeah, due to that. Let's have a look at Wookie. As you were mentioning, we're going from one Alpine to another, and he's slightly down on his first sector. And that's the thing around this track. We haven't had time to do a full on-board lap. But turn 1, 2 and 3, you can gain and lose so much time already, and then you're just kind of fighting all the way around, especially this tight and tricky middle sector, to get that time back, and it can be quite hard, can't it, around here?
Yeah, I love that middle sector. There's something about it that if you hook it up, it feels really, really good. If you don't hook it up, it feels absolutely horrible.
It does.
But, yeah, it was. It's getting a good exit out of Yung Shao, isn't it? It's called that corner.
Yes. Turn 12.
To slingshot your way back up the straight. That makes a big difference to your lap time.
It really does. What can Wookie do? And just slightly down his previous time. What's Scotty done? He's not on a lap at the moment. Let's have a look further down the order. Let's have a look. Speedy Bullet, the American. Good evening to Anne. Good evening to Mark Dennis and Fabian. You are... Okay, I'll let you off after your next comment. I'll let you off. I was wondering who the best commentator in the world is. But I'll take it. If it's Crofty, I'll take it.
Well, he's the second best Fabian in the MRC, so, you know.
Oh, we're going to spike arguments already.
if you're going to give it, you have to be able to take it. As
Very true.
Said to the whatsoever.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to have some fun tonight.
Roundy improves to third.
Yeah, Speedy Bullet Pops went right behind him as well into fourth. Good lap from him.
Now, it's interesting how many people did what's obviously going to now be their final lap quite early there, because there's still, 2.5 minutes left of the session. Personally, I'd be going out now.
Yeah.
To get maximum track benefit, because it does speed up a lot, this track.
It does, and in fairness, Aldrich, Fabian likes your comment. It does, and I found this with Mexico. I don't know if you found it, and this one as well. It seems that Codemasters have done another number on us, and everything's so slippy now. All the tracks are so low grip that it's very, very difficult to get the front turn and to get the traction as well. And I mean, I did it again where I, right before the race, made changes to my setup. Obviously didn't work because I ended up backwards in a wall. But it's another one that the middle sector I found was very difficult to get the front turned in properly.
I actually, bizarrely, I had quite a low downforce setup, and I was purple in the middle sector, weirdly. Not that it did me any good. It doesn't really matter if you kind of, end up crashing into a wall in corner 2, but,
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm not bitter.
Yeah, I wasn't I didn't mention it. You mentioned it. This is definitely on you.
It was none of my own fault. There was cars all over the place, and one of them didn't ghost, and I bumped into a wall.
Yeah, it's not fun when that happens at all.
Yeah, I'd made a few stuck places on the start as well, which is a bit frustrating. So I think it started 9th, and I was up to 6th or something by the second corner. But
crikey.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, there was a sideways car and bumped into it, and as I got back going again, because it was dry tyres and a wet track, it just shot me off into the scenery.
Yeah, that was a strange one that you guys had in Tier 2. That it was definitely intermediate weather, but everyone was starting on dry tyres. It was a very strange scenario, that one.
Well, the forecast was drying in 5 minutes, so I guess that's why it started on a dry tyre. But even on the outlap, there were people off track on the outlap. So,
crikey.
So who's on the lap now? We've got 30 seconds left.
Yeah, so a few people now. So let's have a quick look who's starting. I tell you what, we're going to go on with Stubalicious in the Alfa Romeo, coming down the start-finish straight. DRS 204 mile an hour, braking about the 50-metre board. Third gear into the centre S's. There's turn 2. Important to get a good exit. Doesn't use too much curve. Full throttle round Curva de Sol. Down the Retro-Aposta. We've seen many, many battles here in the past. Down into turn 4 and 5 to Cedar de Lago downhill. Important not to run wide down there. Easy to lose the rear end, and then up the very tight uphill section to Ferradura, turn 6 into turn 7. Curva, which I can't pronounce. Turn 8, no name, and then Perugino, turn 9, long, and then you can swings it right in at the final part of turn 9, get the exit into the Bigo de Pato, tight turn 10. Important again to get the exit, easy to lose the rear down Magulo, turn 11, flat out, and late braking into Young Cow. Important again, as Martin said, to get the exit, to slingshot you up through turn 13 and the long climb up the hill. DRS wide open at the subida de boxes, and turn 15 Aqua Bancadas. And what does Stube do into 6th? Good lap from Stube. And that is another thing. It is a fast and furious lap around this track. You know, race pace 111s, 112s potentially.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the weather forecast is. No one's mentioned that as far as I can see.
No, it is going to be interesting, but I tell you what, everyone's finished their laps, and Scotty in the Red Bull takes pole on a 108.6. Wookie in second, then Roundy in third, Speedy Bullet in fourth. Haggerboy, another very strong qualifying from him. Hopefully he can make it work in the race this time round. Then Stube in sixth. Nuts has grabbed the... I was going to say the dog by the other half, but let's not go down there. Fox River in 8th on the medium tyres. Then we got CBG, Sambal and Man rounding out the top 10. And we'll go through the rest of the grid. Oh, Scott says it's dry to wet.
Well, that would be a full set of tier races with a dry wet race then, wouldn't it?
It would. That's going to be very interesting. We'll go through the rest of the grid now. Winky in 11th, Jimmo in 12th. Only wants to set a lap time, surprisingly. Triz, Smith, Antox, Avanash, Ant, Fabian and Bergen and Biff did not set lap times in that session. So it's going to be interesting to see what those guys have managed to do in terms of...
Well, that's me told, because it was me that said it, wasn't it?
I've done it for years as well.
Well, we're starting in the dry by the looks of things.
Yeah, sunny conditions, yeah.
So, presumably, it's going to be a wet forecast.
Yeah.
I have learned this season that it's definitely worth getting a Dash app, because my Dash app gives me a detailed weather forecast.
Ooh, mine doesn't. I might need to change mine. That's interesting.
And it tells you when the rain is coming.
Well, especially with the top couple of tiers, these guys work on the perfect forecast. We work on approximate, so it could come 5 minutes before, 10 minutes after. So that would be very interesting to actually use. But
I think with approximate, as soon as the session starts, it knows when the rain's going to be coming. It just doesn't know in the lobby. So the lobby might not be true, but once you're into the race, what the app says is definitely right. It's been right 100% of the time in every race. So it's been quite interesting seeing that. So yes. Unfortunately, I can't use that whilst I'm spectating. I can use it as a driver. But, yeah. It would be useful to know.
Well, let's look at the tyres. Scotty's starting on the hards. A number of drivers on the hards. Quite a bit of a split. Everyone behind him to Stube is on the mediums. Nuts on the hards. Fox maybe using his used mediums, maybe on the fresh mediums that he would have had left. Sambal on the hards with Man as well, and Winky on the mediums. Jamie hards. It's pretty much one and the other, then mediums, then hards for Smith, Antox on mediums. Avanash and Ant have gone for the hard tyre route. Aldrich, Fabian and Bergen on the soft tyres, and then Biff on the mediums as well. So I wonder if the drivers are kind of hoping... Mark's asked, is it Race Dash that you use?
Yes, it is.
Huh? I don't have that on Android. I was using Sim Dashboard, I think I was using.
Yeah, no, Race Dash, one of the screens you can add to it has a weather forecast in it, because you can have multiple screens and you can cycle through them, basically.
All right.
But yeah, no, it is Race Dash, yeah, I was just checking, yeah. And one of the dashes that I've added to my dashboard, so you can basically you can set up a button to change the screen on your phone.
Oh, really? From your wheel?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you can cycle through different displays. So one of the displays I have is like a track map with timing and incidents and weather.
Oh. I mean, I have trouble with getting my wheel to work half the time anyway, so I'd best not even try that.
Well, the funny thing is you have trouble working the wheel yourself half the time. So
well, there is that as well. Yeah, there's that and the pedals I would struggle with. Yeah, the whole bit. I'm getting the stream up apparently, so we've learned. So we're waiting on a few drivers to catch up. I think there's a car that seems to be halfway around. I think that's Jimu. He must have had a moment on the outlap, so the drivers are going to be waiting for a little bit longer at the moment.
He must have had a huge incident to be that far behind.
Yeah, he must have done. Must have done, but here he is joining the back of the grid at some speed. But we're going to have to ride on board with our poleman Scotty so we can see the lights, and once the timing bitches like to settle themselves down and give us the grid, we have now got 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and for tier 3 in Brazil, we go racing! Good start from Scotty, but I tell you what, Wookie's got the ball off the line and on the inside into turn 1's got the move done. The medium tyres work very well off the line. All seems to be side by side further back, but all well and so good. Speedy Bullet on the back of Roundy outside of turn 3, already side by side using his ERS, but to try to make the move into turn 4, breaks early and leaves room. So does Roundy. All clean, but Roundy manages just to keep ahead. Let's have a look further down. Avinash got an absolute blinder of a start, even on the hard tyres, up 4 spots already in 4 corners. What a start from Avinash.
That was a really clean sector 1. I just watched all the way through the grid, and the only person who's had a bit of a slip was Antoxa, who I think actually lost it himself on the curbs.
Oh, that's unfortunate for him. He's not too far behind though, luckily. Not very good start for the Alpha Tauris. They've gone back a bit. Winky's gone back a few as well. Aldrich Fabian has jumped 5 spots already on the soft tyres, trying to make the most of all that grip. Oh, there's a car in the background. That's Winky taking a... well, he's grass cutting. Unfortunately, it's not gone well for wee Willy Winkle at the moment. But Aldrich Fabian up spots already. He's side by side with Jay Moore. It's gone to the outside. No DRS, of course. Brakes late. Makes the move. The grip and those softs is working. And who's that? That's CBG Sambal. He's had a moment as well. And we've got Avinash and Man now battling. Avinash on the inside into turn 4. Makes that move. Avinash up to 9th. So Aldrich and Avinash 7 spots in a lap.
Yeah, they're the big winners. Everyone else, the majority of people have actually held position, funnily enough, with the odd minor change of up 1 or so. But yeah, no, the big loser there has been Winky, unfortunately. Not sure what happened to him. You said he span, but I'm guessing he went for a big grass spinning exercise, doing a bit of fly-mo action.
We have Sambal struggling. He has gone again at the top of the hill. Easy to do, though, at the top of turn 6 and 7, as the car goes light as you ride through turn 7. Easy to make it go wide as well. But I tell you what, Scotty's lost a lot of time to Wookie. He's under pressure from Roundy, who was under a lot of pressure from Speedy Bullet once again. DRS will go active now on this lap, and there is the second DRS zone. Ooh, that's Antoxa's gone round. DRS is enabled, as we said. Speedy Bud's going to get the DRS that is now from turn 3 down to turn 4. Is he close enough? He's got the drive and he's got the DRS. Has the Haas. The Haas has also got it off the back of Scotty, so this is side by side. Plenty of room left again. Speedy Bullet. This is very good racing, very respectful and clean racing from the two of them.
What's critical is Wookie broke DRS. He's the only person in the field, apart from around 9th or 10th, who'd broken DRS before it activated. He is super rapid around here. I know that because I was following him in practice and could not keep up with the guy.
Yeah, he was quick the other night as well, so yeah, he definitely is very, very fast. Avinash and Aldrich Fabian having a really great little battle, of course. This is soft tyres against the hard tyres in favour of the McLaren. Be interested to see how long that lasts, especially now with DRS enabled and Avinash outside of the DRS for Mutt's nuts. That gap at the front.
Just looking at Roundy zeroing in on the back of Scotty down the start-finish straight.
Yep, I was wanting to watch Avinash, but you're right, we've seen that now, and he's not quite close enough, and this is where the difference in... Oh, Scotty gets a big slide outside of turn 1, manages to keep it together. I think he caught Roundy off a little bit, so he's backed off and he's not going to be close enough, but he is this time. He's got the run. He's going down on the inside. Gets the move done before the braking.
Does he get it into the corner okay? He does. Yep, that was nicely done.
It was. Speedy Bullet's going to try his best to follow through with that. But
Speedy Bullet's looking very rapid behind these two. He almost looks like he's being held up by them.
I think so, but I wonder if he's using a higher downforce setter, because he didn't seem to have that much straight line speed down the straights. Of course, those Roundy did have the DRS as well. And that's it. It's that playoff between that grip in this middle sector to cling to the back of the cars in front and hope and pray that they don't disappear off into the distance, even when you have DRS.
Oh, and Scotty got a terrible exit.
He did.
Jun Sao.
I don't even know what we're going to call turn 12. But they've both got the DRS again. So this is going to be so interesting. Who's going to use the DRS button? Who is going to have the higher top speed? And I think it's just a Red Bull, but there's space left. He's trying to go on the outside and just gets the move done. Speedy bullet.
But Scotty's going to come back at him now.
He's got it. He was behind at the DRS detection.
Yes, he was.
So, the medium tyre runners now chase down Wookie, who is also in the medium. Scotty can... This shouldn't hurt Scotty. If he can keep with them, those hard tyres will be in their zone now, and if he can keep the grip, he doesn't keep trying to spin up the rear, he'll be in a good place later on.
Yeah, he's driving a very conservative race as well. I mean, without giving too much away, he's definitely conserving battery, big time. Yeah,
but I try not to go on board with people too much to show that there is an incident somewhere. It's a virtual safety car. We've had Biff and Smith have pitted. Now, I wonder... Will Aldrich Fabian pit? The softs will go... With heavy fuel, maybe 10 laps, and they'll really start to feel a bit poor.
I think it's CBG Sample that's caused that. He's got no front wing.
Oh Sambal. Yep, Aldrich Fabian has decided to get rid of the soft tyres. Probably not the worst move in the world. He can go along on the next stint. Potentially 30 laps if he puts a set of hard tyres on. I wouldn't like to try it personally, but that's what he's going for. And we've also got Bergen in the pits as well. He was the other driver who started on the soft tyres. But it's been a lot of great overtakes. Very clean so far as well. No argy-bargy, no real wheel banging. Oh, Sambal, it's not going well for you tonight, mate. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And now we go green. So Aldrich's timed it perfectly to get his pit stop and be back on track. Not so well, unfortunately, for Bergen or for Sambal. But now we've got a big DRS train. We have got Roundy lost out a little bit in that virtual safety car period. And now everyone within DRS down to Fox River in 7th. And there's a 2-second gap to Mutz Nuts and Avanash. Slightly on his own as well with Trace and Mann, who's under pressure from Ant. You know how quick Ant can be.
This is working out beautifully for Wookie because everyone behind him's kind of fighting with somebody, whereas he can just drive around at his own pace and disappear off into the distance.
Yeah, he can, can't he? Yeah, he can pick his braking, pick his turning just as he wants. He doesn't have to worry about his rear view mirror at all, unlike Roundy.
Essentially here, the big thing is that you can deploy your ERS when you want to rather than defensively. And that actually can make a big difference to your lap time overall, actually, here.
That's a very, very good point, yeah.
Because you can kind of... I mean, I find that sort of coming back up into the start-finish straight, kind of dumping a load of ERS sort of as you hit the 2 highest gears seems to give you a really good time sort of through that 3rd sector. But if you're using it to defend through sector 1, you end up running it down really, really quickly.
And that, yeah, exactly that. Because I think you're right with the 1st sector being quite quick. You're in those high gears. Now, I actually use it the other way around. I use it from sort of the exit of junk out until about 6th, 7th gear.
Okay,
and deploy a different way around to try and get the acceleration through to get to my top speed as quickly as I can to try to defend that way. But that's an interesting tactic. I've never thought of it doing it that way.
I mean, it's possibly partly I quite like setting cars up with lots of traction, so maybe that's not so... Yeah, anyway. But yes, so anyway, so Wookie can capitalise on that.
He can, yep. Speedy Bullet just about the second. Oh, Zackerboy goes very, very wide in turn 4. There's a yellow flag in sector 3, which quickly gone again.
The midfield is super spread out.
Yeah, looking at that, there's about 2 second gaps between everyone from Mutz Nuts downwards. There's about at least a second, 1.3 to 3 to 4 seconds, and then a big gap from Bergen, who did pit, of course.
Nobody behind Fox has DRS.
No, which
Not
is
a
interesting.
single car, which is a bit of a weird one.
It
I
is.
wonder when this rain's going to come.
Well, that is also yeah. I wonder who's gone for a bit higher downforce to sacrifice this point of the race to see, well, if it's going to come earlier, the rain, and try to come back at the end where people might be slipping and sliding and struggling with, well, both front end turning and the traction. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how that plays out towards the end. Haggerboy's closed a little bit more on to Stoop, who's lost the DRS, importantly, to the back of Scotty. And Speedy Bullets lost the DRS as well. Roundy's closed the gap. It was 3.2 down to 2.8. Just needs to be careful it doesn't burn out his tyres. Mediums roughly on a good 16 laps potentially.
Yeah, I found that they went through a pretty horrible graining phase about now.
Yeah, they did. They did, you're right.
Weirdly, I found that the hards did it as well, which I don't normally notice, but they both seem to do it here.
Yeah.
The hards was slightly later. I think it was about 12 for the hards, but they both went really weird and oversteery for about two to three laps. Antox gone. We've got a safety car. Antox is gone. I think that's the end of turn one. It is. Exit turn one. He's lost the rear. Now then, our leader is diving into the pits earlier than he would have liked. Roundy's following suit. Speedy Bullet, Scotty. Oh, Scotty on the hard tyres is pitting. That's an interesting one. But if the rain's coming, set of mediums. CBG's having nothing but penalties tonight. He's had 5 seconds going into the pit lane. He's just picked up 3 for track limits, and now he's got a drive through for speeding under the safety car.
Yeah, not as nice.
I feel very bad for him. That is not what you need. He's probably just really frustrated.
Has he got another one?
I think he just got another one.
Yeah.
Is that possible? Is that a thing?
I don't.
I guess it is.
Well, it just says drive-through. Well, I have seen it before, and yeah, you serve it and then you've still got it.
So lots of people pitting.
They have. The top, well, Mutts, Nuts, Avanash and Man stayed out. Unfortunately for Wookie, they came out side by side with Man. Man got the position. Not ideal for Wookie. Let's have a quick look at the tyres that those guys have gone onto. Wookie on the hards, Roundy, Speedy Bullet hard, Scotty on the mediums. Haggerboy and Fox have gone to the soft tyres. That's an interesting one. A lot of drivers on the mediums as well.
Does that suggest that maybe we're expecting rain in about 10 minutes?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I mean, if it said to you rain in 10 minutes, you'd think to yourself, well, I've got 10 laps-ish, which is just over a minute a lap. Go for the softs. Yeah,
and it doesn't change to the Inters straight away, of course, does it? It was Mexico, wasn't it, last time out that it rained and the DRS was still enabled for a long time, and it was just a strange one. Everyone was on Inters and the DRS was still enabled even though it had been raining for the last 6 laps.
Well, Tier 2 with that wet start this week had DRS all the way through that wet period.
Yeah, very, very strange. So I think Codemasters are now just toying with us and playing with us now, aren't they? They're just making it up as they go along.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess maybe it sort of says to itself, well, there's this amount of rain on the track, so at the moment the grip is this, and therefore the best tyre is that. But obviously that's at that moment, whereas 3 laps later, the amount of water on the track's going to have changed, and therefore that might not be the best compound anymore. So it could be a flaw in the system, but definitely felt like you should have been on Inters.
And that's it. I think with this, the coding and everything, it's sort of finite, isn't it? It's not. You haven't got real world judgment to say on that one. It is just finite. There are your options. It's not unlimited.
No, I mean it's horrible. I'm just that outlap. There's cars everywhere. There are people going off track all over the place. So yeah, it was a bit leery.
And it's going to be interesting to see what the top 4 especially can do on their tyres. A lot more worn, of course, but Aldrich Fabian has now found himself up into 6th. Only 4 laps on his hard tyres. So that's going to be an interesting one to see what he can do. He'll know sort of where the grip is on those tyres as well. Yes, they're not as fresh, but it's going to be an issue when the safety car is now in this lap. None of that nonsense where it goes in at the safety car line. Luckily, we've got it in good time. So Mudnut's back in the pack up and get the last little bit of heat in those front tyres.
If I was top 4 at the moment, I would not be fancying my chances of restarting very quickly on 10-lap old hards.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult against Wookie. But like I said, they'll sort of know where the grip is. So with Fabian, well, Wookie, Roundy, Speedy Bolt and the like will have to search for where the braking changes and where the traction changes. Mudnut's going quite late at the moment. And now he's gone. Yeah, his ERS is down. He's caught Avinash napping a little bit there. Went as late as he possibly could, and a really, really good restart. Avinash has gone with Ant, and we've got Wookie already. Ooh, let's have a look. Wookie on the inside of Man into turn 1, trying to go on the outside. Look, you know, I was mentioning the grip. Scratch that. Aldrich Fabian is also battling with the Haas. There's nearly 3 wide down the red of Buster. This is scary times. They're both going past, and Man has been absolutely mugged. Oh, and he's got a twitch, and he's hit Haggerboy. There's damage. There it is to Haggerboy's McLaren. I think Man lost. Oh, there's a car gone in the background. That's Biff, and he's retired. And there's another safety car. Oh, there's another car gone wide. I think that's Triz. But just saw a spearing Alpha Tauri into the wall. And Man,
that's a shame. That's a shame.
It is actually. It is a real shame for Biff.
I was on board with Wookie for that restart. His level of grip was absolutely about a million times better than everyone on the older tyres in front of him. He was able to brake later into turn 1 and get onto the throttle much quicker. And he just drove past Aldrich, whose tyres aren't even the oldest ones.
No.
Oh no, it was Man, wasn't it?
It was Man, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was Man who slipped back 4 places, in fact.
Interesting. Avinash is now deciding to pit with all the cars bunched together, but so has Man decided. Haggerboy, unlucky, got that damage. Maybe we'll see that in the stewards. I think Man just didn't see where he was going, didn't trust the tyres at all.
Avinash also to the softs. This is making me think that this rain is coming soon.
Yeah. Still sunny though. We normally get the indication when it starts getting cloudy, don't we? That's when it normally starts to.
This is true.
But nothing at the moment.
I was kind of hoping we'd get the rain sooner so we could start talking about rainy Brazilian famous races, but that's not to be. So what we could talk about is 2001, which is where Montoya shoves his way past Schumacher very famously in his first season, wasn't it? 2001.
I think it was about that, yeah.
Because Jensen was there in 2000 and was replaced in 2001 at Williams by Montoya, and Montoya smashed his way past Schumacher, basically shoved him off the circuit a bit, if I remember correctly. That was one of the most memorable Grand Prix, not for that unfortunately, but for a certain Dutchman leading by example to his child by smashing the leader out of the race.
I know which one you mean now. Yes, I know which one you mean, yes.
Basically, he was leading the race after that amazing restart that he did against Schumacher. And then he was lapping Verstappen, senior. Basically, he then decided to try to mount Montoya's car like a horny dog. Literally put the nose of his car on top of Montoya's rear wing. And
it was, wasn't it? It was just one of those that it was, well, infamous, and it didn't help, and probably hasn't helped the Verstappen name. I'm going to say that. There's so many people who are going to either tune off or shout at me.
Well, I was about to say, to be honest with you, I don't think Jos Verstappen does a lot of good for much, really. He's a bit of a strange guy. But
yeah, I think I'm sure there's a lot of Max fans watching that. Even if you're a Max fan, they're not necessarily a Jos fan, and I probably would agree with us on that one.
He seems an odd chap, and he did back. To be honest with you, actually, the funny thing is that when I was playing F1 games back in the day, I quite often used to play as Jos Verstappen. I don't know why, but I did, because he used to be in the Arrows, didn't he? And the Arrows,
yes.
I quite like the way they looked back then, especially. I think it was slightly before that. I think it was probably 2001. I think was the orange. It was the orange.
Because they weren't they about that colour? Yeah, they were, weren't they?
Well, they were sponsored by Orange.
Yeah, back in the day.
But before that, they had an all-black livery that looked dead sick, and that was the one that I liked.
Fair enough. Give you that one.
Safety car is coming in.
Already, yeah. And I'm sure we'll revisit that one and other infamous Brazil Grand Prix in the past soon. But Mutsnuts again back in the pack up. When will he go this time? Will he have the grip? What can Wookie do? What can Fabian do? We saw the previous start. And he goes again. Well, just before the pit entrance and knew it was coming. I tell you what, I'm going to go back because Aldrich Fabian has got a heck of a run on Wookie. Wookie goes defensive. Can't do anything about it for Aldrich Fabian. He's on the back of Ant as well. Oh, neat and tidy. Avinash already making places on Bergen as well. Those fresh soft tyres working an absolute treat. But Wookie, I'll tell you what, and all over the back of Mudstuds coming down the red poster. Can't make it happen into turn 4. And all.
Ant had to brake a lot earlier than Wookie there. Wookie had to get on the brakes almost as like an emergency stop then to avoid him.
I think that's the difference in grip, and you mentioned it previously, isn't it? The difference in grip is astronomical, and that, to be fair, that corner does scare me when you lose the grip. You do tend to be very, very slow for fear of drifting out wide and then losing the rear on exit. It is quite a scary corner. Airways has said the clouds are building.
Well, that's an interesting one. I'm running on board, and actually the clouds are building. Yeah. I'm actually just sitting in Wookie's, sitting on Wookie's head, basically. Now let's see who gets a good drive out of that corner, because this is going to make all the difference, I think, into turn 1.
Oh, Aldrich Fabian got a poor one. Fox has passed him. I didn't even miss. I just totally missed that completely. But Aldrich Fabian's got Roundy for company. Look at this down the straight. Fox and Wookie and Muds Nuts nearly 4 pushing each other. I think Muds has gone wide. Ant's taken the place. He's taken the lead, and Fox has gone down the outside as well. And now Muds is under pressure from the Alpine of Wookie, and look who's joining it. This is a 6-way battle, nose to tail. Who's going to try it into turn 4? Wookie thought about it, backed out, and he's got a McLaren for company, who's got a Haas for company as well. And now it sort of settles into the middle sector. And thank goodness for that. Well, we say that. Moves are possible. Oh, Wookie's gone. Did he lose on his own? Did he?
I couldn't tell. I was still on board. It looked like he lost the rear end under braking.
Oh, Nightmare, and he's now battling with Avinash. Ooh, a little bit pushy, a little bit arty-party. And who's that? That's Mutsnuts. Has lost it as well, and now Wookie's back through. Scotty, our pole sitter, an early race winner. No disrespect. Forgot about you, mate. With all the other battling, look at Avinash Jim, who are in the background as well. Aldrich Fabian and all that's dropped way back because Fox is on the inside of Ant. He's going to get the move into turn 1 and backs out. He's on the harder tyre as well. Hasn't pitted. But Ant's going to get the DRS, but I don't think he's going to be close enough this time round. Let's have another look back. Aldrich Fabian and Roundy Scotty. Wookie still in the mix with that one. I think Wookie will be... well, Wookie seems to, for want of a better term, see red. And he doesn't have to go and put the hammer down.
Well, he immediately got back on track after that half spin across the grass, and actually immediately made an overtake. So
he did.
He was straight back into it.
Yeah, we were lucky to have the helicopter view in that part of the middle sector at that point. And you're right, he really did. He was side by side with Avinash, but took it through a few corners as well, 8 and 9. And they've dropped. Avinash, unfortunately, dropped off the back.
Looks like Roundy's struggling a bit for grip at the moment as well.
Yeah, yes, he's dropped off the back of Fabian.
Yeah, Aldrich seems to be disappearing away from him, and Scotty is all over him.
He is, and there we have. We do have DRS available, and there's the rear wing open on the Red Bull, and well, that makes it easier. Roundy does pit, and it is getting cloudier halfway through this race, and Mutsnuts has retired from the session. Where's that? It's a safety car. That's a turn 1. I think he's just put some tyres on. Look where. Oh, the car's gone. They used to leave the car out a little bit longer so we could actually see what had happened. Unfortunately, they're getting rid of it very, very quickly. So I'm trying to remember the year that... I'm just going to come back to this one. That Senna won in 6. I think it was 91.
Yeah, when he had the gearbox problem.
Yeah, and he was stuck in 6 and then promptly passed out in the cockpit afterwards. Yeah, this first race, wasn't it? It was the first time he won.
I have to say that did all look a little bit over dramatic. He could be a bit of a drama queen, Senna. Don't get me wrong, amazing drive, but it all looked a little bit theatrical when it happened.
It may have been. I think when you look at the film and you see the bit behind the scenes, I mean, I wouldn't like to drive a car with this much. Well, there were about 1,000 horsepower then still.
Yeah.
With that much torque and manual gears. In 6, I couldn't do the. Ooh, Scotty nearly got caught out by Aldrich and the safety car there.
Well,
I wouldn't like to do it around this circuit, especially with the second gear corners that it has, and the effort with the no power steering, of course, and how heavy they would have been.
Yeah, I've got a feeling. I was going to say, I've got a feeling that the McLaren at that point didn't have power steering, and some others did.
Yeah, because that was obviously the second year that. 92, the year after, of course, that. The Williams had the levelling air suspension system, didn't it? That was just
active suspension.
Active suspension. Sorry, that's the word. Sorry.
Well, it was first on something else, wasn't it? It wasn't Williams that actually was first to the punch with it. I think it was. Who was it? It was somebody like Brabham, somebody weird like that. Actually had it first. But Williams were the ones that made it work, basically.
I didn't know that.
And on the Williams, it didn't work very well at all in 91. It wasn't until 92 it started working properly.
Yeah, and it was...
They had a lot of failures in 91, and I think Prost took it off a lot of the time. That's
true. Actually, now you said it, yeah. I do remember hearing a bit of that. But, I mean, what a system that was. I think it was banned after 92, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, but there's a lot of talk of some form of it being brought back to help with the grounding issues that the cars currently are having. Because you could program it to give the cars a little bit more support in areas where they're getting bouncing, basically.
Wow, and you could probably customise it, to each track.
What they would probably have to do is to have a standardised system that the FIA could monitor to make sure everyone's doing the same thing with it, I think is what they've been talking about. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think that they've kind of come to the conclusion that just sort it out, be less rubbish.
Well, yeah, sort your suspension out. Basically. Sort your ride height out.
It's everybody next year, I can guarantee it, every car next year is going to have the same suspension layout as that Red Bull.
A lot of people are going, is it the push rod suspension they've got? A lot of people went to the pull rod. And it all changed. Simon's asking for the tyres. That is a very good point. Now it's gone very, very cloudy.
Fox is on the Inters. Fox is on Inters.
Ooh, he has.
I'm just going to go on board and see.
To be fair, it's now at that cloudy point where the rain could start to fall any second. There it is! As we've said it, I've just seen the drops.
Yeah.
We have now got rain as the safety car's coming in this lap. This could be a blind. If it rained hard enough and quickly enough, Fox could have played the blinder.
He could, or he could have done what I did last week and played it completely wrong and ended up having to do 3 laps on a wet tyre on a dry track.
Oh yeah. But Aldrich's gone early. He's caught the rest of the grid napping. Didn't mess about. The top 4 kind of disappeared. Jermo really caught napping. And it's going to be interesting now. See what these guys can do with their worn tyres. 11 laps for Scotty. 11 laps on the hards. Aldrich Fabian 15 on his hards. Stoob and Jay Moore. I wonder if they're just going to try to eke this out, and everyone other than Fox, who will get a 4th place demotion, of course, at the end of this, is just hoping that everyone's going to have to pit again. The guys who might still benefit a little bit are the guys on the softs, who obviously they're going to get the heat in the tyres, going to have a lot more grip.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're all at the back.
That's the issue. But it's going to be to see what they can do, and who's going to blink first, other than Fox. Who is going to blink for those intermediate tyres? But it's just sort of spitting a little bit. It's very light rain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm riding on board. It still looks exactly the same as it did last lap. Although, having said that, Aldrich struggled to get power down out of the last corner there.
He did.
Is he going to pit? Is he going to pit? No. Doesn't pit. I'm surprised. It's looking like rain. When you go on board now, it definitely looks like actual rain is falling.
Yep, and then it's more of a mental state. They'll be trying to feel some grip and they're not sure if it's there. So you end up sort of tiptoeing the throttle, tiptoeing on the brakes as Scotty does make that move. He's got a lot more grip on the medium tyres, but Wookie as well. I think Aldrich kind of let Wookie go there by the looks of it.
Yeah, that was a strange one. I just watched that happen, yeah.
But it's going to... It's now the mental state, as you say. People, they start to drive slower. You start to feather the front and the rear with the throttle, but then you because of that, the tyres get colder, you start sliding more, and then it's a kind of a knock-on effect.
Yeah, I mean, I think Aldrich might actually just have struggled for looking at the age of his tyres, he might have just been struggling for traction.
I think he could be,
struggling for traction. He just had out of Vico de Pato, he had a big wobble as well, actually.
Yeah, so Stoob closing in as well, and is on an absolute flyer on the soft tyres. He's still got plenty of grip. Oh, Stoob's got 3 seconds to his name.
Roundy's gone to Inters.
Yeah, Roundy's the first one to blink, so that's interesting.
He did that half a lap ago, I just didn't notice.
DRS
is on.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, enabled now after the safety car, so we've got the 3 laps have gone. Yeah. We've got the DRS enabled. Be interested to see how long that lasts for. I think Ant may have got a warning through turn 1, just used a little bit too much of the inside curb, but he's got the drive and now he's got the DRS, and he'll make that move on J Mood. Both got the DRS actually off the back of Bergen, but Ant got the better drive and makes that move.
The cameras are getting definitely wet now.
Yeah.
When you go onto any of the onboard cameras, they're all smeary.
Oh yeah, they are. They certainly are on board with Haggerboy up through turn 6 and 7. Had plenty of grip in his 10-lap medium tyres. Roundy. Oh no. Winky's pitted as well for a set of Inters. So he's thought it's time.
I think now's the time, personally.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're probably right. We're not seeing it. I mean, let's start that again. Oh, look at Haggerboy. Sorry, that was Stoob. Really struggled at the front end to get it turned into the final corner.
And
but none of them was pitted. Yeah, still pitted. I wonder if they're waiting for that whole DRS is disabled message to then dive into the pits.
The problem is quite often it comes up too late.
Yeah.
So you've kind of gone through a couple of corners and then it'll suddenly appear.
Oh, look at this. We've got Haggerboy there, really struggling. We've got Bergen and Ant all over the back of him. It's a swarm behind, and now they're 3 abreast. And they've both got the DRS, and what Haggerboy is just kind of can't do anything about it, unfortunately. That's so unlucky for him. But now Mann and Smith have also pitted for the Inters, and I think you're right. This is now the time to pit. Yeah, Aldrich's tyres have really gone off now. We'll leave the tyres on. So we can keep you informed of when everyone decides to dive in and change tyres.
I'm going to watch the gap to the leaders. It's currently 32 seconds to Mann. Let's use him rather than Fox, because Fox is an older tyres. Is the gap going up or down? Staying about the same so far.
Yeah, it's been interesting through that middle sector when you really start getting the traction and the grip in there. But Wookie's kind of stuck with Scott. Are they going to pit this lap? No, they stay out once again. But even I can see the interval. Well, to be fair, that's to Fox.
The gap to man is basically staying the same, which means that we are on the crossover point. If it gets any wetter, they're going to get quicker, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly aren't. We've got Jimmo, Trace and Avanash have decided it's time for them as well to dive into the pits. I think the guys who did the softs early on and coming through the field like there's absolutely no tomorrow, absolutely on a charge. And he's gone on the outside of Aldrich Fabian as well, on the run up to turn 6. Wookie's fallen off the back a little bit. What can Stoob? That Stoob gap with Aldrich Fabian still... Ooh, Stoob very, very twitchy. The top of the hill to turn 8 and 9.
So Man's found half a second on this lap, and without being derogatory to anybody, there are some very fast people at the front.
That is, yeah.
So that would suggest that the performance differential is in the favour of the Inters now.
So, it's going to be interesting to see who's watching, who's got a race engineer, as that is Aldrich Fabian's pitted, and he's got 5 seconds as well. Oh, Aldrich. Not good at all, but now he's put the soft tyres on.
Interesting. Interestingly, Man's now lost a second.
I wonder if he had a mistake somewhere, because he's also got, well, quite a few cars for company. You've got Jay Moore, Avanash as well for company, and Triz. We're trying to go on the back of Avanash. Oh, Triz has gone round. He tried it on the inside of turn 2. Get that car down on quickly, mate, otherwise you'll get... Good lad. Because you might get a disqualification for going the wrong way by accident. So... it's going to be interesting to see if he made a mistake. I'm going to be interested to see what Aldrich's pace is in comparison to Fox. Gap is 6.1 seconds. Okay, yes. I mean, I found the Inters seem to drop off very quickly. Wookie's made a mistake somewhere because Ant's just absolutely driven past him.
Yeah,
but,
he was...
Wookie's got the DRS. And there's puddles. There's a lot of spray coming off the back of the cars now. I think you're right. I think the Inter's probably the right tyre to go on.
Well, you say that.
Oh, Wookie! Oh, got it. Wow, he slid into turn 2 and had a collision with Ant. That was purely not Wookie's. Couldn't do anything, to be in fairness, to Wookie on that one. And I think he's just kind of didn't defend, let Ant go through on that one. Fair play.
Saying all this, there's not a lot of spray coming off these cars.
I would say that enough to probably... Yeah, I wouldn't be happy on a set of dries at the minute, I don't think. Unless I was on the softs.
Especially 17 lap old hards.
Yeah, no. Especially the mediums. They're well past their best by date now, aren't they? Oh, Moore's gone, Jimmo, and there's a safety car. This is just falling perfect for the top guys. Where did Jimmo go? Oh, he's gone up out of turn 3.
Well, they've got to pit now, haven't they?
You would say so.
Because they're still going to come out where they are. Everybody's on old tyres. Nobody's on young tyres. That top 7 are all on old tyres for the type of tyres they are.
Yeah, so's Fox. I think 8 laps. Once you get to that stage on the Inters, they don't do a warm-up cycle very well either.
Yeah, he might as well do it as well.
Say, if I took the opportunity, I would pit as well on the Inters.
Yeah.
Roundy saying, what even is this game? Pitted twice to repair the wing and it didn't get done. I had that on Monday as well. Zach. I had exactly the same. Wing damage and pitted multiple times, and yet mine didn't do it either. So
yeah,
I hear you on that one.
You have to toggle it over to force it to do it, don't you, sometimes?
Yeah, instead of having it on auto, they think it's just light enough to get away with it, so you actually have to put it on. Yes, you need it changing. Interesting. Bergen, Stoob, Fox have gone onto the soft tyres.
That's interesting.
Aldrich's also gone on to soft, used softs mine that he's had in qualifying. I think they've just been looking at Ant though, and Ant's progress through, and his overall pace.
Really, it depends what happens with the weather from this point. I mean, it's still raining. The track is going to be getting wetter.
They're not going quick enough to kick the water up.
I mean, it looks wet. That's about as educated as I can be about this. So this, so we have to talk about 2003. Is it 2003 where you had the famous river?
Ooh, you tested me tonight.
You had a massive river running across turn 3. And basically, half the field basically crashed on it. It was a weird thing to do with the tyre war. Who were the tyre suppliers? It
was it Bridgestone
and Michelin, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah, back then.
And there was there'd been a change to the tyre rules that meant that what happened that year was that you could only bring one wet weather compound to a race as a tyre manufacturer.
Yeah.
Which is really clever. So they had to decide in advance what the weather was going to be. And bring one of their 2 wet weather compounds, and they basically brought what is effectively the Inter, and it turned into torrential rain, and just about where the guys are coming through now, a river was running across the track, which is why you now have enormous amounts of catch fencing down this straight, I think, as well.
Okay.
And basically everybody was just disappearing off the track on this river. They were hitting it and just going straight on. And there was literally a pile of cars that had all hit each other, all lying against the barrier. And I'm going to Google who was in that pile, because the cars that got caught out of it were Justin Wilson. Do you remember Justin Wilson?
I don't remember that, no.
He started a Minardi and then raced for Jaguar.
Okay.
Antonio Pizzonia, who I think was also Jaguar, wasn't he, actually?
I do remember that name.
Montoya, Schumacher, Verstappen, and Button, and they all crashed on exactly the same spot.
Wow.
And literally all their cars were just literally turning into a pile of carbon fibre and wheels at the side of the track. And that was the one where it then all got really, really crazy. And because the race was red flagged, they gave the trophy to Raikkonen because they hadn't counted back the right number of laps, and then the next week they had to give it to Fisichella instead. Whose car had caught fire before the finish.
Wow. I mean, it's not like them to ever take trophies off drivers and change their mind, but we've got the safety car.
That was the most famous example.
Wow. Okay.
Fisichella won a trophy after his car caught fire in the pits.
Yeah.
he literally won the race.
He did, and Scotty's gone early. So now we go back racing. 7 more laps. And Scotty got the good jump down the pit straight. But I tell you what, let's have a look who's further back. We've got Avinash on Stube. They're side by side. Avinash trying to go around the outside into turn 1. Who's got the better grip? He's now got the inside line. Ooh, going a little bit. May have got a warning with that one, but there's a few people. Roundy's retired. Roundy's gone at the turn 1 into turn 2. Not sure how that's happened. That's so unlucky for Roundy. He's not at the best of time, unfortunately, this evening. As Roundy, but Haggerpot up there now. And Wookie side by side once again through turn 4 and turn 5. That's a very tight place to try and go side by side.
Those softs look a bit ugly. They're not awful, but the traction difference was really, really noticeable. And I saw... I think I saw Stube struggling. In fact, Stube just dropped back to 14th.
He's gone at the end of exit turn 5. He's now down in 14th. Not worked out for him. It's worth a risk. I think it was one of those that...
Yeah, Bergen's got Avinash crawling all over his gearbox right now. He's going to clamber over the top of his rear wing on his way past in a minute.
Yeah, he really is looking very racy, is Avinash. So potentially he's just got more turning. Let's have a look at the traction up the hill. Bergen got decent enough traction. But Avinash just in the slipstream using his ERS button as well. Bergen goes to the outside. Remember he's there. He did. And then Avinash, yeah.
Thought Avinash was going to give Bergen a Ferrari Enema then.
It wasn't far off. But let's see what Avinash can do about Haggerboy. He's dropped off the back. Not confident at the moment, Haggerboy, in these wet conditions. But then Bergen's now got Speedy Bullet behind him. But these guys at the front, Wookie still with Scotty, and just dropped to 9/10 back. So 5 more laps of what's been a very enthralling, you'd have to say, Tier 3 race once again. Still couldn't call a winner at this stage. And we've got difference in strategies, difference in tyres on track. I'm surprised Stu didn't pit and thought, no, maybe I'll change and go to the Inter. He's just decided to carry on.
He's possibly hoping.
Scotty outside it. Well, the last corner, he's got a big slide, and he's lost a lot of space, a lot of time. And Wookie and Ant have gone through. I think he's recovered and put it into third. He has. Didn't manage to spin all the way around. Aldrich's got a 3-second time penalty. But now what can Ant do about Wookie? Ant, of course, will get a demotion for being a Tier 1 driver. And now the penalty's thick and fast as the driver's scrambling for grip. Oh, Aldrich's got 5 seconds, just got 3 seconds. Now he's got 5 for speeding in the pit lane. I'm going to be interested. Oh, I'm sure I just saw a spinning driver. Maybe it was just me. I thought it was turn 1, but it might just be me flicking a bit too quickly. But the gap's starting to open up. Ooh, what was Fox? Very slightly outside of turn 4. Very easy to lose it there. But now the gap's Scotty now. 4 seconds back. Haggerboy 1.7 further back. Avinash is closing the gap, but he's got Speedy Bullet up his trumpet. It's one red car for another. Speedy was looking quick really early on, wasn't he, in the early stages? And now he's still got the pace. 3 seconds for Stu. Aldrich was on the softs. He's now gone to the Inters as well.
Speedy is looking speedy at the moment. I think he's going to drive straight past Avinash in turn 1, probably.
Yeah, could potentially do it up the hill. Scotty got a 3-second time penalty. He was looking so good for the Red Bull man. Speedy Bullet's got 3 seconds as well. I don't even see how.
I think
he might have gone wide.
I think it might have been the pit lane entrance, actually.
Oh, could be. Oh, Avinash, he just saw him cut turn 2. He did that a few laps ago, and he's got 3 seconds. He might have been able to breathe easy, or a little bit easier, and now he can't.
Speedy's making the move.
He certainly is. Up the inside into turn 4. Can he get the car stopped and turned? He does. Just about. Good move from Speedy there. So now they're going to chase down Haggerboy, who got a bit of a breather. Haggerboy needs to try to get the hammer down a little bit close up to that 3-second penalty that Scotty's got. The top 2 still fighting and dicing up front. Let's see what Fox can do. He's also on the softs, just like the man ahead of him is Bergen. But Fox has got his teammate behind him. Also on the Inters. Fresher Inters than the gentleman just behind, which is Smith in the top 10 once again. So a really good race from Smith. Let's get rid of these tyres. Let's have a quick look at the penalties. 3 seconds for most of the drivers. Stu was 6 and Aldrich had a 3, and then a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's got 8 seconds, but he came out the pits about 2 laps ago. It's over 6 seconds behind Stu. That gap is now 2.6. So the Inter's pretty much the right tyre to be on now.
Having said that, Bergen and Fox are doing pretty well on those softs, aren't they?
They are actually.
Although Man is now catching quite quickly.
What would you do in Fox's situation? Would you try to? You're gonna get. Man's gonna gain the 2 places from Bergen and have it. Oh, man, got a bit twitchy outside of 2. But
at this point,
would you let him go, or would you just keep racing until he gets close enough and let him go through?
Personally, I'd let him go through, but yeah, I mean, I think Ant is doing something similar. Ant is not using ERS, I've noticed. So
oh, fair point.
I think he's letting Wookie stay ahead.
And to be fair, Ant always pulls over at the start-finish line, doesn't he, as well? I think Bergen follows suit. I'm not sure about Fox, who's actually had a code. He's got through Bergen now. So Fox now into 7th. All this is going to promote Triz up, of course, the points as it stands. But yes, Stu's now fallen behind Aldrich. So those fresh Inters at this point absolutely flying. Just not gone his way, unfortunately for him. Haggerboy, Speedy Bullet. You mentioned Speedy Bullet was flying, and he's now flown past Haggerboy, but Haggerboy kind of hoping there. Breaks early, doesn't want to put a nose in there. Smart move from Haggerboy. But, pardon me, 2 laps left. Speedy Bullet has got that penalty. Haggerboy can still get that position back if he's able to stay within 3 seconds within 2 laps. Triz is pitted. Interesting. And got 5 seconds. Triz.
That wasn't a good trade.
No. DRS is now enabled. Well, it's stopped raining, actually.
And is now using ERS as well, by the way, I have noticed.
Okay. Well, I know he likes to have it on in the background as a stream, so you'll probably heard you.
But I think he's much of a gent to interfere with a race, so...
Yeah, I know he likes to race, but he will just... Usually likes to move over at the end. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1. I'm not sure who that is. Aldrich Fabian's pitted again. Oh, he's serving his 5-second penalty. Winky's DNF'd. Oh, Winky outside of turn 5. Oh, he lost the rear big time and lost a wheel. Oh, so unlucky for Winky. Right at the end as well. And it's gutting, isn't it? Right at the end of the race, you've just battled through the difficult conditions.
And Ant has just passed Wookie.
So he has.
I mean, obviously he's going to end up behind him anyway, but...
Yeah. Probably done it just for with the DRS, made it easy, and now look at this, Bergen and Fox having a good little ding-dong as well, both on the soft tyres. But we're on the final lap of the race. It's been another good one. Don't forget to hit the like button, folks. If you haven't subscribed, ring the bell. And then we're back. We're under the lights in 2 days' time. We are under the lights in Viva Las Vegas. First time round for MRC. So don't miss.
To put a wheel on that track.
I did a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm hit and miss, actually. It's not as bad as I thought. But it's... Yeah. It's easy to forget where you are in terms of braking points in the middle sector. And go straight on. It could be good fun. But there we go. Ant is going to... Yeah, he does move over, as Ant does. So Wookie will take the win. Scotty is going to come across in second place. Just rewards, I think, for Scotty up and down in that race. Difficult one for him. Speedy Bullet, what a race from him. T takes third. Avinash, what a fantastic race. He takes fourth. Bergen did cross the line. Fox is slowed down with Ant. Smith is going to take 6th in the end, and man in 7th. Great race from them. Haggerboy's DNF'd. Where did Haggerboy DNF?
Oh, that's really unlucky.
I can't believe that. What happened? It was outside the last corner and it's dried up so quickly. Haggerboy, I'm gutted. Absolutely gutted for him. There's the car in the middle of the track. So Triz, after that lip, oh man, Triz is going to take 8th. I think the guy's just letting everyone go past. We'll work this out in a little moment.
In terms of driver of the day, who would you give it to?
I'm thinking Speedy Bullet at this moment in time, but I'm also looking a bit at Avinash.
Yeah, I mean, Avinash has gained 11 positions in that race.
Yeah, and he had some really good battles as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I got the impression he might have set himself up for the wet weather a bit better than some others. It's hard to not look at Wookie as well, though, because Wookie sort of, apart from a very little kind of, apart from a blip, he was almost lights to flag through that race.
He was as well, yes, so that's a fair point with that. So, yeah, I think it is Wookie who takes in a very, very good commanding race there. And we're done with the champagne, so let's go through the provisional order before potential stewards' inquiries when the game decides it wants to play ball. In a moment. We're doing well with technical issues tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, my game seems to have gone completely out of sync with what's happening on screen.
There we go. So Wookie does take the win. Scotty in second. Speedy Bullet. Bergen will get a 4th-place demotion, so Avinash will actually take 4th in the end. Smith will take 5th, so great result for them. Then Haggerboy was classified a lap down. Then Aldrich Fabian, Winky, Roundy, JMO, Nuts, Biff. Sambo and Antoxa, unfortunately, a lot of DNFs that race. I think the tricky conditions didn't help at all. But yeah, Anthony.
It looked like a tough race as well, that one. It looked like it was hard to try to decide when to do what, really. So, yeah, good race from those guys. It was, yeah, I think some people did time that into stop to perfection. It definitely was worth waiting another couple of laps, wasn't it?
Yes, certainly was. And to be fair, you called that early on as well. And I think as well, the safety cars early on didn't come out at the right, kind of the optimum point for pit stops.
Yeah, they a bit compromised.
Yes, they were, weren't they, throughout all that. But there we are, folks. There is your Brazil action and your Wednesday night's entertainment over with for this evening. As I mentioned, we are back on Friday evening, 7:30, for MRC X at Las Vegas under the lights. So that is going to be definitely one to watch, so you can adjust to a new track, see who learns it the best. Very high speed, of course, very long straights and some heavy braking zones. A lot of opportunity to overtake, but the walls, of course, ever close. Join us then for 7:30 MRCX, and for Martin and I, it's been an absolute pleasure. It definitely has with you, my friend, as again.
Yeah, good to be back. Haven't been here for a while.
No, you haven't actually, but no, brilliant to share the box with you again. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, and we will see you in 2 days' time. Thank you, everybody, and good night.